Hey guys, it's Megan. Welcome back to another video. This is just the introduction of a video. I don't know when this one will come out, honestly, especially since I'm also filming a simultaneous video about my 5-star predictions. But this one, since I'm going to do 5-star predictions and see if I'm right about those, I thought I'd also do DNF predictions, which nobody wants to go into a book thinking they're going to DNF it. But just based on my track record with, you know, some of these authors or just the premise in general, maybe the fact that it's young adult or something, sometimes I just kind of suspect going into it, I'm like, maybe I'll be DNFing this one. I don't know. I don't really usually go in thinking I'm going to DNF a book, but I've got some picked out that I'll show you that they could be DNFs, and I've got pretty much all of them on my TBR coming up soon. I've either reserved them for the library, or I can get the ebook or something, or the audiobook. So I'm going to hopefully read all these pretty soon and then update you throughout the reading process to see if I do DNF the book or not. And if I do DNF it, why? If I maybe actually really enjoy it, why I think I'm going to DNF it in the beginning, and then maybe I can choose fewer books that I would DNF. Maybe I can learn a little bit about myself as a reader. I don't know if this video is going to be as helpful to me as the 5-star prediction video. We'll see. So a book I think I might DNF would be Children of Time by Adrian Tchaikovsky, I think is who it is. Just because it's really long and it sounds really weird, and I've not really been into sci-fi that much. So maybe that one. The Black Hawks, I don't even remember the author's name, but it looks too much like, what's the name of that series? Where's the old people getting back together and there's like music things in it? See, I've already forgotten. I'll put it up here on the screen. It was too much like that. It looks like that book, like just the cover. So no. Parable of the Sower by Octavia E. Butler. I just feel like that whole series, I just feel like she's not going to be for me. I just don't think so, but I'm going to put it on the list just in case. The Conductors could be one that's going to be a DNF if I ever get around to it. Aristotle and Dante, whatever the first one is in that series, probably a DNF because I don't really care about young adult literature that much anymore. So why it's even on my TBR is beyond me. The Raven Boys. I know everybody loves the Raven Cycle, whatever it's called. Maggie Stiefvater. Some people say it's like their favorite series or they reread it all the time. Some of my booktubers I watch love it. And they're booktubers I usually trust. But I just don't think I'm going to like it because I didn't like Six of Crows and everybody loved it too. So I've never read from this author though. So we'll see. Winning Silver by Naomi Novik, because I did DNF one of her other books, but I only barely started it. Like the Her Majesty's Dragon series or whatever. And I don't know. I just hear she's very kind of hit or miss and very divided amongst her readers. So I don't know about that one, but there's just some. Now I'm not going to go through every single book on my TBR. Well, actually I did that though. I did go through every single book on my TBR to make this list, but those are just some. But as I pick up books throughout the next few months, whenever it is, if I think that there's a chance I'm going to DNF it before I even start it, I'll let you know. I'll show you the book, I'll tell you why, and we'll see if I'm correct, and we'll see if I can learn anything about my taste from this little experiment. So I'll see you here in a few weeks. So pardon my hair that's drying, but I'm ready to start the first book for this project about DNFing a book. The first book I'm going to read out of maybe 5 that I think I might DNF is, it's really hard to hold this iPad up at the same time, Children of Time by Adrian Tchaikovsky, however you say his name. And I have the physical, well, not physical, but you know, the ebook here on the iPad, and then I also have the audio book, and it's, oh my gosh, it's so long. And like, how many pages is it on here? I mean, 576 pages. But I'm reading it for another vlog too, because it's also a punishment that I have to read over a book over 500 pages for a different vlog. So I might as well kill 2 birds with 1 stone. But the reasons I think I'm going to DNF it are that, let's see, I've not been reading a lot of sci-fi lately that I enjoy. I've DNF'd a lot of sci-fi. I DNF'd, well, I read Annihilation, but then I DNF'd the rest of the series. There was the Southern Reach trilogy by Jeff Vandermeer. I DNF'd Leviathan Wakes by James S.A. Corey, which is supposed to be amazing. So the fact I DNF'd that is not a good sign. Oh, by the way, the baby's asleep. He just went to sleep, and that's why I'm being kind of quiet. There was something else I DNF'd. Oh, All Systems Red by Martha Wells. But I have had some luck. I did read the new Andy Weir, what's it called, Project Hail Mary, and I loved it. But I don't know if I've ever given a sci-fi book 5 stars. So I definitely don't think 5 stars, but I'm gonna say DNF because I've not been enjoying sci-fi. It's ridiculously long. So I know it's also super weird. It's something about giant spiders. I don't know. So I'm pretty sure that's what it's about. But it does say the smartest evolutionary world building you'll ever read. Well, I do like world building, so maybe there's that. I've also never read from this author, so I don't know what to expect. So I'd say those are all the reasons that I think I'm going to DNF it. So I will start it and I will update you maybe 50 pages in, and we'll see how it's going. Well, boy, do I have an update for you. Started my first book for the DNF blog, and it was going so well. Okay, I started, wait, where should I put it? You know what, let's put it over here on this side. I started Children of Time by Adrian Tchaikovsky. I think I told you about this, right? Yes, I already told you this. And I was actually shocked. I should have updated you like really early on in the book and told you that within the first like 50 pages, I was actually really intrigued. It started out with a very interesting premise, and then immediately the character that you were following, it's like hundreds of years later or thousands. I don't know. I don't know how much time is even passing in this book. I was kind of confused, and the thing I thought was the most interesting was already like not even really happening anymore. And then every time that they would jump ahead in time, which has already happened like multiple times at the point I was at in the book, I just got even more and more confused. And then there was the stuff with the spiders, which was fine at first, but it's just getting too much. It's like these chapters interspersed throughout to show you how these spiders have evolved. And I just don't care. I just want to get to the part where it was going to be like spiders versus humans or whatever, because I feel like that's coming. But apparently it doesn't happen within the first like third of the book. So it's too long. I got bored. I feel like I'm not smart enough to read sci-fi, or else they're just not my kind of stories. Like, they're not character driven stories at all, which I guess this one's supposed to be more about humanity in general and not about these specific people. But you know, I read like Andy Weir. I read, what's it called? You know, not The Martian, but the other one, Project Hail Mary, and I loved it because it was, I guess, more character driven and I was connected to the characters. So anyway, I DNF'd it. As much as I thought that those 50 pages or so at the beginning, I was like, I'm not going to DNF this one. Yeah, I called it. I mean, at least I knew. So I think I made it about 30%. I mean, I gave it a fair shot, and it's like 600 pages. So I feel like I really gave it a shot. It's like 200 pages, obviously. Math, you know. So yeah, my first prediction was accurate. And we're going to keep going and see. I think what I've learned from this one is sci-fi is just not for me. Hard sci-fi is just not for me. It's too plot heavy. I also DNF that book back in the day called The Three Body Problem, because it had also nothing about the characters. Like, I didn't care at all about anything or anyone. So yeah, I think I've learned a lot about myself as a reader and how I don't really like sci-fi. It's the Friday of fall break. I just got out of school. Oh my gosh, I'm so tired. But I thought I'd do a quick update because I'm not getting out of the parking lot anytime soon. So I don't think so anyway. So I just thought I'd update you. I'm going to try another book that I think will be a DNF. And it's sad that I have to predict that. But this one's called The Inheritance of Arcadia Divina. I think that's how I've said it before or heard it pronounced, by Zoraida Cordova. And I feel like I'm going to DNF this book because I don't know if there's enough fantasy for me. It is kind of more like magical realism set in the real world, but there are some fantastical elements to it. So I didn't think I was going to like it, but then I did read the back and I was like, maybe I will. So I knew it was about an old lady, like the matriarch of a family named Arcadia Divina, and she invites her family to her own funeral where they hope to learn the secrets that she has held on so tightly their whole lives. She is transformed. I'm pretty sure she's transformed into a tree, I think. And 7 years later, her gifts have manifested in different ways for like 3 of these grandchildren or family members, granting them unexpected blessings. But soon a hidden figure begins to tear through their family tree, seeking to destroy her line. Determined to save their family and uncover the truth behind their inheritance, they traveled to Ecuador, to the place where Arcadia buried her secrets and broken promises and never looked back. That actually sounds pretty cool. But for some reason, I just thought with magical realism and it being more about like a family and a family tree, and I just thought it was going to have like little homey, cutesy vibes, and I just don't want that. So, but I don't know, is blurbed by V.E. Schwab, so maybe there's some hope for it. This is not the cover that I usually see for this book, but I found this for like $3 at Half Price Books, so we're gonna try it. And I also thought we had to try a fun drink for this vlog, because we always do, which is this Year 3000 Y3000 Coke. I got the Coke Zero version. Hold on, let's see if I can open it with one hand. Okay, it's making noises. I just always like to try fun new drinks. I've tried all the other Coke beverages that they have, and I've never tried this one. It's brand new. It smells really good. It smells kind of like marshmallows. Oh, it's weird. What is that? It says it tastes like the future. Oh, co-created with artificial intelligence. Well, this bottle's artificially intelligent. This bottle's like terrible. Maybe I should have tried the original without the fake sugar. I don't know what that is. It's kind of also fruity. Tastes like something I've had before. I'll have to see if I can place it. I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to predict I'll DNF this book because it just doesn't have enough like magic, and it's not as dark as I like my fantasy. So we'll see, and I'll start it tonight and I will update you. Well, it wouldn't be a vlog if I wasn't updating you while driving to work, because that's like the only time I have. Let's talk about this book. I finally got around to reading it. And the only reason I did, I'm actually a little farther than this. I'm like 35% maybe, so over a third. I got around to reading this because my dad had surgery, and when I was waiting on him in the hospital, because he had to be in the ICU for like 8 days, and anyway, all the times that we were just sort of sitting there in the waiting room because we weren't allowed in to see him, I was like, I need a book that I can read, that I have the audio book and the physical book, put in my headphones, because there was a TV in the waiting room and people were talking, so I couldn't really concentrate. So I needed a book that had the audio book and the physical book, and this was it. So could I DNF it right now? Yes, I definitely could. I thought it was a little more promising after I'd read the summary and was like, okay, these characters actually sound kind of interesting. The plot sounds more interesting than I thought it was going to be. But turns out right now, nothing is happening. I'm definitely 100 pages at least in, 35%. Nothing has happened except for the one thing I already knew was going to happen. Like they said, Orcadia Divina is still alive, but she calls all of her grandchildren there before she dies. And I knew she turned into a tree or something. I knew about that because everybody talks about that when they mention this book. And that's what's happened. I mean, she's not a tree yet. Like, her bottom part's a tree and the top part of her is not a tree yet. But she's going to be dead in like a few hours. And I guess right now, the only thing I can figure is that I'm supposed to care about the characters because, like I said, there isn't really no plot at this point. There's no plot. I mean, there's no stakes. The next scene, I could not even tell you remotely what the next scene would be because there's nothing happening. I don't know where it's even leading, where it's going, what the point of anything. There's no point. There's no conflict. Like, there's literally no conflict in this book right now. So I guess I'm just supposed to care about the characters, but I'm not really attached to any of them either. It's just kind of like, here's some about each one, and some of them have been through some bad stuff in their lives, and here they're real fleshed out. And I'm like, well, that doesn't mean I care about them yet. So I'm going to give it maybe to 50%, maybe. And then I'm going to DNF it if there's no plot. So I'm sad because I actually thought that maybe I wouldn't DNF it. But so far, my predictions about DNFing are definitely coming true. And I'm glad I only paid $3 for this book right now. Well, I have kind of a sad update for you. I've read one page of this book. It's been a long time too since I updated you last, and I feel really bad. But my DNF prediction is coming true because I can't even seem to start it. All these other books keep popping up. Sorry, that's Ella drinking water. It's kind of gross in the background. Anyway, these other books keep popping up that I want to read. Loans keep coming in. Found a cool book at school today that I brought home that came in a book subscription box. I just can't get to this book. I don't know what's wrong with me. So far the DNF prediction is coming true because I definitely will not finish it if I can't even start it. Oh, and it's time for my drink of the video here, which is this. I've never even heard of this brand. Oxy Shred. I've never even heard of it, but it's so pretty, and it's cotton candy flavored. And yes, I've already tried it, but I'm gonna react again because it's been a while since I had a sip. So I just brushed my teeth too, so this is really hard to say. It tastes more like some sort of orangey fruity drink and not as much like cotton candy as you would think. But it's not bad. Hey, I'm getting ready to go work out, and I realized I forgot to update you about this book. I couldn't tell you when I DNF'd this book. It's been a long time. I told you I thought about DNFing it. I DNF'd it. I honestly couldn't even remember anything about this book at this point. It's been a while. It's been a hot minute. And I just never told you that I did DNF it. And I will not pick it back up again. And I'm glad I only paid like $3 for it. I should have known it was not the book for me. I did know. That's why I put it in this DNF vlog. Why do I keep picking these books that I might DNF? I don't know. So we need to find one more book that I may DNF. Once again, I don't even know why I'd read it if I think I'm going to DNF it. It's like, I just have a feeling. It's like, I just know from the vibes. So the next time I have a book that I might DNF, well, hopefully I just won't pick it up to start with. But if I do, so it might be a while, I will update you again and let you know. Hello, it's bedtime because, when else do I do updates? But it's been a long time since I've actually done a book for this vlog because, oh, hold on, I'm very cold. The vent's right there. I guess I just don't want to DNF books. Obviously, I don't want to think I'm going to DNF a book. So why would I even read a book if I think I'm going to DNF it? So it's hard to find books for this vlog, which is a good thing, I suppose. But I did find one. I really, really want to like this one. Whereas some of the other ones, I've been kind of skeptical about. This one, I truly, truly want to enjoy. And that is The Blackwoods by Brandy Colbert. This is YA, and that's one reason I fear I will DNF it. It's also, I think, kind of historical, and it's realistic. Why do I want to read it then? Well, because I think it's about famous people. I like books about famous people, especially famous families, and like everybody in the family has something going for them, kind of like a different plot line, and their relationships are cool. I don't know, it gives me vibes. I mean, definitely not remotely like this, but like House of Hollow, like the three main characters were all kind of like famous for some reason, or at least two of them were, I think. Anyway, then they were all sisters, and I really enjoyed that. The only part I liked about Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo was just their like celebrity. Same thing with, what was her other book? Malibu Rising. I liked that one for that same reason. So I got this book in the library not too long ago, and I was like, hey, this actually looks pretty good. It came in a Junior Library Guild subscription box, and I put it on my TBR. Well, now it's like almost summer. School's almost out. I want a fun, like summery kind of read, and I don't know why, but I feel like a book about famous people in Hollywood would be the right call. I don't know. So let's read the synopsis here. It says, from this award-winning author, blah, 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 comes the story of 4 generations of a Hollywood family. An unforgettable tale of ambition, fame, struggle, loss, and love in America. The Blackwoods. Everyone knows their name. Blossom Blackwood. Okay. Burst onto the silver screen in 1962. In the decades that followed, she would become one of the most celebrated actors of our time and the matriarch of the most famous Black family in Hollywood. To her great-granddaughters, Hollis and Ardith, I like that, Ardith, she's always been known as Bebe. Bebe? I'm going to guess it's Baby. I don't know. That just makes me think of South Park. And when she passes away, it changes everything. Hollis Blackwood was never interested in fame. Still, she's surrounded by it, whether at home with her family or at the prestigious Dupree Academy among Los Angeles' elite. When private photos of Hollis are leaked and in the death of Blossom's wake, she is thrust in to the spotlight she's long avoided and finds that trust may be a luxury even she can't afford. Ardith Blackwood has always lived in the public eye. Oh, and I think they're not sisters. I think they're cousins, because it says they're both great-granddaughters. I'm pretty sure they're just cousins, this Ardith and Hollis characters. So Ardith's been in the public eye, and she's a television star since childhood. She was perhaps closer with Blossom than anyone, especially after Ardith's mom died in a drug overdose. Ever since, she has worked to be everything her family, her church, and the public want her to be. But as a family secret comes to light, and the pressures from all sides begin to mount, she wonders what is left beneath the face she shows the world. Weaving together the narratives of Hollis, Ardith, and Blossom, award-winning author Brandy Colbert tells an unforgettable story set in America where everything is personal and nothing is private. I'm intrigued. The stars rating, there's not very many reviews though. 594 ratings and 134 actual like written reviews, 3.8 stars. So like not the best, but it just came out October 3rd of last year, 384 pages. So we're going to read it, and I will update you when I'm a little ways in and see, hopefully we don't DNF this one. Like, let's find one book we don't DNF for this vlog, my goodness. Hello from the couch with baby Ella. So just a quick update. I am 19% of the way through this book. So I'm on page 67, and there's nothing to report. It's just there. This book is just fine. Like, I honestly have no thoughts. I have no feelings one way or the other. It is so mediocre, which I guess is, that means I'm not going to DNF it. So I'm going to keep going. I'm kind of not enjoying the flashback. Like, there was only one flashback, but there was about to be another one to the past. Like, I'd rather read about the present, but I'm hoping that something will actually start happening in the plot, because right now it's just still kind of introducing the characters and what's going on with their situation. Like, nothing's actually really happened yet. Like, there might be going to be a secret that comes out or something. I know there's going to be, but that's all they've hinted at is like, oh, maybe there's a secret that the grandmother had. And I think it's going to be like basically who like the baby daddy was or something for her only child. That I don't know. Anyway, I will keep going, I guess. No point in DNFing it now on page 67. I might as well give it a little bit longer. If I can make it to at least halfway, I'll at least be able to count it as a book I read. But it's not objectively like bad. It's just sort of there. Hey guys, just a quick update before I go for my run, which is I am 2/3 of the way through the Blackwoods. That's crazy. I thought I would have DNF'd it by now. However, that is not to say that it's a good book necessarily. It's just sort of there. Like, it's fine. It's not objectively or subjectively good or bad. It's more just objectively there, I guess. So I think there's only 2 reasons I've not DNF'd this book so far. And one of them is because I'm in the mood for something just like light and fluffy. It's not really even light and fluffy, but just not like a hardcore fantasy or thriller or anything like that. And that's what this book is. It's just like a palate cleanser between other books. And I think it's just the right timing for me. And that's one reason I haven't DNF'd it. I think the other reason I haven't DNF'd it is because I'm reading another book simultaneously. Okay, hold on. We're not going down this big hill. We're going to turn around, get ready to run. Speaking of which, I am going to continue my running and reading videos, but I think they're going to be like shorts videos because I just don't have time to make them. It's just not, I can't do 3 videos a week. Who was I? What was I thinking? I've decided that I'm going to try to finish this book. I'm probably going to listen to it a little bit while I run right now. It's just easy to listen to. It's very mindless. It's really good as an audiobook. And yeah, I guess I'm going to keep going. I did it. I finished a book. Yay. I actually thought they'd all be DNFs. Now, that is about all I can say for this book, though, is that I did finish it. I gave it like 2.5 stars because I did not really enjoy it. I think the only reason I actually finished this book, and I think I mentioned it before, is just because of the timing of it. I just needed a good little palate cleanser, just a little fun kind of nothing book, like fluff kind of, you know, like, I don't know. I didn't care about anything happening or any of the characters or anything. But I'm also reading another book simultaneously that's more fun and like lighthearted and funny. And I realized that that's more what I wanted. I think I wanted this one to be more kind of like fun about Hollywood, and it was trying to be more serious, and I didn't care. It's not a bad book by any means, no, but something about, I couldn't get connected to the stuff happening in the past or the present, and then it would switch back to the past or the present, and then I'd be like, ugh, not this again, but both times. So I guess I didn't care about either one. But I did finish a book for this vlog. I did not DNF it. Should I have? Maybe. Just popping in to wrap up the vlog. I'm sitting in the library parking lot, the public library, because I need to return this book. So I thought I should do a quick wrap up just to figure out what I learned from doing this video. So we had 2 DNFs, which I did predict, obviously. I powered through this one. I did technically finish it, but I probably shouldn't have because it wasn't really very good. Like, it was just fine, but it was kind of what I was in the mood for at the time. So I was gonna say, my original thought, I was like, oh, I know what I'll say in the wrap up. I'll say that if I think I'm gonna DNF it, I should not read it. Like, duh, that would make the most sense. But I don't think that's the case, because I've read some books before that I didn't think I was gonna like, but then I loved. Like, that have been 5 stars, like Library at Mount Char, or God in the Shed, or I Hunt Killers. None of those. Now, I Hunt Killers I did probably think would be a DNF. So, but the other 2 I just kind of went into being like, yeah, they'll probably be all right. But just because I think it's not gonna be great, or because I think it's gonna DNF, it doesn't mean it can't be a 5 star. Every now and then you get that like diamond in the rough kind of thing going. So I don't know. I guess I'm gonna have to keep reading books I think I might DNF. But maybe, oh, I know, maybe the lesson I've learned then is that I just shouldn't give them a huge amount of time. Like, don't commit to, like, don't think I have to finish it, which I don't think I have to finish these. I always just DNF them anyway. I'm totally fine with DNFing books. I didn't used to be, but I am now, because I don't have that kind of time anymore to read bad books, or even 3-star books. I should really just read 4 and 5-star books, let's be honest, but I still read a lot of 3 stars. Maybe I'll just give books like, I don't know, like 20% or something. And if I can tell it's not for me, don't waste my time, DNF it early on. I think that's the lesson I've learned from this. All right, so thank you guys so much for watching this strange video, and hopefully you found it somewhat interesting, and thank you guys so much for watching. See you again soon. Bye.